Hello, I'm Casey Wilson, and this is Brad Erie, and we're your hosts of the Do or Do Not podcast. So today we're going to start off with fitness, is what we normally start off with. And I'm going to kind of go over a lot of people, maybe the sun's out now, you're not liking how you're looking, and you want to start a fitness program. And there's lots of people that get demotivated right away from a workout program, or they get injured when they start a workout program, or they don't know what to expect from their body, or to know if they're doing the right things, getting the proper results that are going to get them to where they want to be at goal-wise. So I'm going to go over pretty much, and Brad's going to help out a little bit since he's been on the other side of it, how to bring somebody into a fitness program, how I do it, how maybe some other people do it, different genres of fitness do it a little bit differently. We all kind of call it uploading or onboarding somebody into a fitness program. So it's how to get them started. Number one, there's an evaluation that I do.
Can you tell me about my evaluation?
It sucked.
Yeah.
I was like going, this guy might die tomorrow. I don't know.
True.
He looked like shit.
My 4-second plank.
He did fine. You were very much favoring your knee. So we had to, I don't know if you remember we started, I kept having to tell you, keep your toes straight,
yes.
Keep your toes straight, keep your toes straight. But that wasn't really uploading. What it is when he came in and met with me, and we've discussed that in the past podcast. Mm-hmm. So he came in and met with me. We went over a workout program. We kind of like took measurements, went over goals. So we went over goals in the last podcast. And so we go over those goals, and then we're going to get started into a workout. So I do an evaluation, a free evaluation for people when they first come in. And we usually will do like 3 or 4 exercises, a little bit of cardio, a little bit of stretching, depends on how much time we have. And that usually depends on how much the person who comes in talks, the potential new client. Some people like to talk a lot, and they'll just tell you a bunch of stuff, and it's stuff I need to know usually. Sometimes it's not stuff I need to know, but it's part of that building rapport and gaining trust and having them get to know me and having me understand the situation they're in. So
people who talk just nonstop just annoy me to death.
I know.
I mean, really.
It probably seems like on this podcast that I do all that.
Yeah.
I'm the talker. You're the talker. I'm just like,
I'm the quiet one. I'm just a quiet
little mouse
guy in the corner.
Little mouse on the shoulder. So it depends on how somebody talks, and then we get up into the evaluation workout, and I just want to see how somebody's body moves. So I want to know, first, we've already went over any injuries they have, limitations they have. If they don't have any, a lot of times it's just I haven't worked out in years, So we know those things. I put them through the workout. I see how their body moves. I may notice deficiencies or postural deviations. Some people stare at the ground nonstop. Some people stay hunched over a lot. Those are pretty common. I look for how their hips are, whether their pelvis is tilted one way or the other. I look for stuff like that. I also
watch comments of trying to keep this clean. It's tough. I was wondering why you made me undress so you could look at my hips and made me dance.
Yeah.
Truth comes out.
I did not do that.
Look at the hips.
Yeah. So anyway, we got the pelvic tilts, and stuff like that, but I'm also looking for balance. So when somebody's moving, they're doing an exercise, I also get a feel for their athletic ability. And people come in and they feel real self-conscious about things, but honestly, I'm just trying to evaluate you so we can get you to that next step. That next step is the first workout. And so whether you're coming in and working with a trainer or you signed up for a membership at a gym, you're going to have your first workout. In which there's a few things I want you to think about when doing it. Number one, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was the fat you put on your body or the lack of years that you've been working out. So you can't rush into it. You can't rush in and go, I'm going to do all this crazy stuff. Or back 5 years ago, we have a lot of people that used to work out or were in athletics. And 5 years ago, I could do this. So I'm going to go in and try to do that. That's a pretty common thing in the gym. Mm-hmm. Guys go into the gym, they see other guys, they go, I think I'm in as good a shape as them, and let me do this. You got to go in and set expectations a little bit lower. So, because you don't want to hurt yourself on the first day, and you also don't want to make yourself debilitatingly sore. So you want to keep motivated. And what demotivates you? Not being able to roll out of bed, not being able to squat down on the toilet and use the toilet in the morning. You don't want to live your whole life sore. Now, if you come in and you're going to work out like a madman, you're going to get sore. People come in, they go, I want to build muscle. I tell them, you're going to be sore. But most people I deal with want to get in better shape, and they want to lose some weight. And you don't have to make yourself extremely sore for that. With that being said, when you first start working out, your body is not used to working out. And to adapt to your body not working out, your body will get sore because you're doing things you weren't doing. So you got to expect some soreness, but you don't want to push yourself too hard. When we say uploading somebody into a system, onboarding somebody. It's like to get you started. So a lot of people, when they come in, they think their first workout is really hard. And I tell them, I go, this is really hard for you. But a month from now, you're going to look back at that first workout and go, oh, I could do 2 or 3 of those in a row if you've progressed and you've been working out on your own. If you're going to the gym, what you want to look at is each workout, you got to be making progress, just little tiny steps. So you don't want to be taking big leaps. You don't want to go, oh, I went and got on the elliptical and I did level 5 on the first day. Great. You don't want to jump up to level 15, So you want to go, all right, I'm going to go up to level 7 today. I felt really good. I wasn't super sore after my first elliptical training session, and I went in and did it. Great. You did half hour last time. Don't jump up 10 hour, take incremental steps as you're going forward. And it's same with weight training, core training, body weight training, yoga, anything is you got to take it at a pace. So you set those goals like we talked in the last podcast, and then you got to execute on them, and you don't want to demotivate yourself, and you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to injure yourself. A lot of people injure themselves early in workouts. I have a lot of people that come in. Well, you can. Did you do that before you came in?
I did that while you were training me. I injured myself.
Yeah. So even when you do, whoa, what happened?
We're still rolling.
We're still rolling. The whole
Just
screen went black. So you don't want to injure yourself early on, and you don't want to set yourself back mentally, because remember, this is a mental game. Working out and changing your body is a lifestyle change, and it's going to take a long time. So you don't want to go too hard. With that being said, most people will go a little too hard and then they stop. But some people will go a little too easy for too long and they stay at a static level. They go, I've been doing the elliptical at level 1 for the last month and I had really great results. And then the second month, I didn't get any results. Well, what are you doing on the elliptical now? Level 1. Well, your body adjusted to what you were doing. Your body will adjust to the workouts. If you do the same thing over and over again, the results will dissipate. So if you haven't worked out for 5 years and you are 60 pounds overweight, and the first month you go in and get on the elliptical 5 days a week for 30 minutes, you're going to lose some weight, especially if you've changed your eating habits to go along with it. But even just that, you're going to feel a whole lot better after a month. But the next month, you're not going to change much. Usually probably after the first 3 weeks or so, about 14, 21 days, your body starts to adjust your workouts. So a lot of this is about progressing forward and making small steps to get to a bigger goal. So you also don't want to be doing, like I just said, the same things over and over again. If you're doing the same workouts over and over again, you're going to get the same results over and over again, and that's going to be flatlined. They're not going to keep moving. That's why as a trainer, I'm always pushing somebody to go to the next level, adding weight to exercises, adding difficulty to exercises, progressing up to harder exercises from easier ones. If you're still doing a plank 3 months later, maybe you're really out of shape or really overweight, but maybe you're just I'm taking you to that point because when you first started, you could only do it for 4 seconds.
4.5.
4.5. And now you can do it for a whole minute, but you can only do it for a whole minute twice. And I want you to do it 3 times before you move up to the next thing. So we're building up on that progression because everybody has different fitness levels and different abilities. So when you first start, don't overdo it. Don't underdo it either for too long. The first day you go in and you start doing little tests on yourself. If you have a trainer like myself, which I highly recommend using a trainer, whether, it's me or somebody else, there's trainers and there's good ones out there. Investigate them. We can kind of talk about that maybe on another podcast.
Any names available that?
No.
Okay.
Casey Wilson. That's the only name available right now.
All right. Just
if you're in Roseville, or Rockland or the surrounding areas. But there are a lot of really good trainers out there, and there's a lot of really crappy trainers out there. So you got to investigate and you got to see what to do. But if you're doing it on your own and you decide I'm going to get gym membership because I want to look better in my shorts in the next month or two, or, I don't like my arms wagging as I'm waving. I don't want 2 waves happening. If that's something you're wanting to do.
Sun's out, guns out.
That's right. And that's the other thing. Sun's out, guns out, So I wear a lot of sleeveless shirts during the summer, because you got to show off what you're working hard for. But that's the main gist is you got to have a solid mindset of what you're going to do. Mindset's everything. So don't overwork yourself and get so sore that you're demotivated to go in the gym the next day. Don't injure yourself. And also don't be too easy on yourself either. You got to be pushing yourself a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And Brad can put the little link in and I'll send it to him later, but I have a beginner workout program. It's a step-by-step program. I run it. I I have it on Vimeo, but it's not very expensive, and it'll take you basically through your first few months of working out, so you can progress through a workout program. So if you want some help that way, and you like listening to my voice and seeing me demonstrate things and explain things to you, I try to keep it very simple, straightforward, and it's pretty cool. It has it'll say the amount of number of sets and reps you should be doing roughly on each thing. So it's a nice program that gets you uploaded into your workout program. And then if you get to the end of that level and you want to do more, then there's more that you can do.
I like to watch you work out Friday nights by myself in the dark. Just saying, it's a nice way to spend an evening with a little glass of wine
on the phone,
with
Casey's.
If
you're still doing my beginner program, then you really effed up.
Well, you went through this whole spiel of that, and I clearly broke every one of those rules. When I first came in, I demanded that you make me look like Brad Pitt from Troy within 3 weeks, based off my 4.5-second plank. And you said, I don't know if we can do that.
No. I said, that's impossible.
Yeah, well, impossible for you.
Even plastic surgery, you'd still be swollen up afterwards that many weeks later.
You failed on that. I just want to let the audience know.
I'll take the L on that one.
The thing I found the most frustrating about the whole initial part was I thought it would be just like this linear thing of, I'm going to lift weights and in 6 months I'll have a 6-pack. And then it would go slow. That's just implied.
Yeah.
And then I would overdo it because I would feel a little confident and be like, oh yeah, I lifted this 25-pound weight. So let me just ramp it up to 50 because I'm just anxious to look like Brad Pitt. And then, of course, I would hurt my shoulders. And then Casey would mock me, make me cry, call me soft, ramp me back down, and just keep me plodding along on a more realistic path. But yeah, I've definitely overworked.
Yeah.
I've hurt myself, and Casey's always had to rein me back in and be like, all right,
try to rehab your rotator cuff muscles.
Yes.
And you know what? It's something that is not as common with people there's some people that just don't want to work out hard, but then there's some people that get super aggressive with their goals, and they want to they want to have it all at once, and they want to feel this certain level of fitness, and they're just going after it, and they go too hard and they hurt themselves. Like Brad messed his shoulder up, just probably lifting too heavy. He was making this great progress. He was doing good. He's working out on his own. He comes in and sees me a few days a week, and he also comes in and works out on his own, and he just hurt. And I've had clients do that over the years. It's not as common as trying to keep people focused and motivated on working harder. But sometimes people work too hard and you have to pull the reins back on them and go, all right, you can't be doing this. Or, you got to eat more calories. You're starving yourself. There's conversations you have to have with clients too. And it's a case by case basis. So it is always different. But when you're trying to get in the groove and get a workout program going, think of it in one thing that I'll leave this last thought on it is think of it as you're changing your lifestyle. This can't be something you can just do for a few months. So there's always quick fixes for things, and they're not my favorite thing to do. Like, let's say I have a high school reunion coming up and I want to lose,
45 pounds in a weekend.
And I tell them you can't do it. But I go, this is what you can do in the next month or 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Or you got a wedding coming up and you're not fitting in the dress how you like it. There are quick fixes you can do. I'm not a fan of them and I don't recommend them. I recommend changing your lifestyle, and that has to be gradual. You can't do it all at once. And you can't just go cold turkey and go, I'm not going to eat this crap or that crap. Your body is addicted to certain things, and you have to break that addiction. And it's happy being static. Now, if you start forcing it to do stuff, it'll start craving doing more and more and more. And you'll start really liking the feeling you get, and then you're motivated to work harder and harder. But with that being said, it's about lifestyle change. Look at this as a long process. That's why when you first start, you don't have to go at 100 miles an hour. You go at 25 miles an hour, and then you slowly add a little bit of miles per hour to each, and each week. And those little tiny steps add up to a big, huge leap when you start talking about 3, 4, 5 months down the road. So when you're starting a program, don't get aggressive with it. Don't hurt yourself. Don't demotivate yourself. And also understand that you're going to have some peaks and valleys. It's not a straight, like a linear line, like Brad was saying. You're going to go have a great month, and then you have a month where you're like, I hardly lost any weight. Well, then let's change the workouts up. If I'm your trainer, I'm telling you, let's do that. If you're out working out on your own, then you got to go, all right, I need to do something different workout-wise. So, and if you're at that point too, that's sometimes a good time to consult a trainer. Like if you're working out hard and you want to get better results, the trainer is going to push you harder. Bottom line, you're going to come in and you're going to work with the trainer, or you're at the gym and you start talking to a trainer that you see working with a lot of people. Seems like they know what they're doing. You go talk to them and say, hey, I've been working out in here for a while. I used to have it when I used to work at a big gym. There'd be people, and I would sometimes keep an eye out for them, and they'd be watching what I was doing with people. And then I'd go up afterwards. I was out with the client. I go up and talk to him and said, hey, I've seen you in here working out. How are results going? And just ask them questions like, well, I've kind of been static in my results. Well, a trainer can help you with that. So it doesn't hurt to go up and broach a subject with someone. If you're really aggressively wanting to get to your goals and you've plateaued, it's a great way to talk to an expert. Because remember, we do this every day. It's like anything else. I do this every day for 22 years. Well, not every day. I don't work on the weekends that much, but almost every day. I actually used to work on Saturday mornings for quite a few years. But this is what we do, and this is what we're here to help you do. We're experts in the subject matter, and if you have any questions, feel free to direct message me on the social media platforms or call me at 916-871-8422 and leave a detailed message.
Them numbers that I have to put on there, you son of a bitch.
There you go.
Or you could do it the Brad Erie way, which is just go into the gym, throw the gas pedal down to 1,000 miles an hour, and just lift as weights as recklessly as you can and think that you're going to be Brad Pitt in 6 weeks.
And you'll fail.
Guaranteed. Look how I turned out.
You turned out great, but that's because you finally started listening
Brad
to me.
Pitt right here.
Yeah, Brad Pitt, definitely.
And for the few people that are watching and you're looking at me saying...
You know what the sad thing is? Brad Pitt's older than both of us.
I know.
Fucking still destroys us.
I think
not physically, like I can probably do a lot more than he can, but what a fucking handsome. And Troy, though, you go back and watch Troy. That was a beautiful man.
He was a 10 on a Jennifer Connelly scale of 1 to Jennifer.
He was. I was
not man enough to say that.
There's very few times I've watched a movie and went, holy crap, I think I might want to turn gay on this.
Yeah,
thing.
Well, for the people who are watching and they're looking at me like, really, this is the best you got? You should see what I look like before, people. There
are before and after pictures of Brad on my front window outside and on the website.
It's scary.
So, yes, if you would like to check out the website, it's rosevillesc.com. If you need some help, you can message me directly.
More things for me to put up
and
there.
You can see this guy's pictures on there too. And a bunch of testimonials of fun stuff.
Shirtless.
Any specific questions, you're welcome to message me and ask me those questions.
Yeah, Mom. Since you are the only confirmed. Mom and Matt, the only confirmed listeners.
And Mark.
And Mark. That's 3. All right. Yep. Shout outs.
Here's the thing about the podcast too. I sat down and I'm like going, I'm going to watch it just to see how it looks. Yeah. And on the TVs, it doesn't look that good. But hopefully this is the first episode where we have a much better camera that is filming instead of a phone filming it. So hopefully it looks better on the TV this episode. Wow. And we're figuring out tools and we're figuring out stuff with the podcast to get it better.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, except we have a cord running across the screen today.
All the people who are listening on the podcast, they won't know about the cord until you just...
Hey, everybody who's listening on Apple Podcasts or whatever, there's a big cord runner right in front of us because it's not long enough to go underneath. But luckily for you,
Mark,
I got on and ordered a 10-foot cable to go underneath the table for next time so you won't have to look at it.
So those of us who do the gym with Casey, now you know why his rates are going to go up.
Yeah, I have to buy new cables, new cameras, yeah. But at least I get to get on here and talk about fitness.
I mean, enough with the fitness chit chat. Can we get to the important part?
So the Mandalorian.
Mando.
I should have probably went back and watched. It's been a week and a half since I've seen it. So
all burned.
It was really good. And this guy's about to quit on the show after like a few episodes.
I have some thoughts.
Okay.
I read some reviews.
Hit me with it. I did too, and I watched some stuff about how they messed it. It could have been so much better, but they messed it up. Kathleen Kennedy and her cohorts messed it up.
This is the Kathleen Kennedy clip. Just let her rip for 30 seconds.
There's no proof. There's just innuendo that their fingers were in it, and some other people, because there was strict time frames that they had to get the show done, and so they couldn't expand the episode amount and stuff like they wanted to. They weren't able to. Yeah. Dave and John were not able to do what they wanted to do. But I think it would have been amazing if when those guys can do it, like watch Ahsoka.
He's writing every episode.
He wrote every episode. Everything is on, and I think you're going to see a masterpiece. So, and if you're one of those people that don't read books and don't believe in story development, then maybe every episode won't be good, Brad.
But
thoughts. It's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be amazing. If you want to know what is amazing in Star Wars, I'm not a huge cartoon guy anymore. I'm a grown fucking man, so I don't like watching cartoons. So you're honestly very few of the cartoons I've ever watched as an adult after my kids got past watching cartoons. It was the DC one. I watch a lot of DC has great cartoons.
They do.
They have like blood and gut cartoons, like people dying and stuff. But with that being said, was Clone Wars, but Rebels. Watch Rebels. That's Dave Filoni at his finest. And all Ahsoka and all this Mando stuff that's coming in the next Mando season, all this is all going to be based off, Legends and Rebels. That's what it's going to be based. And it's going to be
my homework.
Freaking awesome.
Rebels
Thrawn,
before Ahsoka.
Unbelievable. But anyway, with the Mandalorian,
we digress.
I loved the final episode, and I think most people did.
Yeah.
From all the reviews, everybody loved it. I think the whole shtick this year that everybody was and let's be honest, besides Kathleen Kennedy, I'm a pretty positive guy. When I go in to watch a movie, like even me, like if you go, well, did you like the Black Adam? I'm like, I liked it. It was all right. I mean, it wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't something I'm going to watch twice.
Yeah. Our bar is pretty low.
I'm not like one of those people who wants to rip apart everything and go, oh, do you remember back in 1990 episode of Black Adam or Shazam this and they did this and they didn't do that in the movie. It would have been so much. I don't get into that shit, So, but in general, I'm pretty positive. I'm looking for the good. I'm looking for the story. I'm thinking about stuff that might happen in the future, stuff that happened in the past, how it related to those things. But also when it comes to Star Wars, I'm just sitting back and enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I like some of the episodes. Everybody hated Boba Fett. I thought it was a very well-told story. Was it exciting? Not always. And that's where a lot of people, especially all the
but you also have way more context.
TikTok attention spans too, that don't read books and don't do those things. They want boom, 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 bang, 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 and it's like, it's not all that.
You have all the context of the books, all the different things that I would not necessarily pick up on.
Which is your weakness, and you have to conquer your weakness. You got to start reading some darn books.
That's true. But my thing with The Mandalorian, I forget who wrote this review.
Hold on. Huh. Heir of the Empire was on sale on Audible for like $5.99 or something like that.
I always get it for a credit.
I know, but the credits cost $14.99.
But see,
so I bought it straight cash and didn't have to use one of my credits, and I got it for a third of the price.
See, it's what I'm talking about.
Hey,
Master.
Because I even said on the last podcast, I'm going to go back and listen to it. So I typed it in.
Yeah.
Boom. It was like super cheap. I'm not going to listen to it probably for another month because I have one more book in the Fate of the Jedi to go through.
See,
just finished.
This guy knows what he's talking about.
But that's a deal right now. I don't know if it was on Tuesday or Wednesday when I bought it. Heir to the Empire. So,
but by the time people see this, it'll be too late, suckers.
Probably.
So, Pat, can I tell you my Mando?
Yes. Let's hear it.
My Mando review.
Before I interrupt you again.
I think it was IGN something wrote this really good. The person who wrote this had a really good point. I agree. Like, they should have called it like Mandalorian. What was his name? Din Djarin chapter, which was like season 1, season 2. Then it should have been Mandalorian, the Boba Fett chapter, which is like 3. And then this should have been the Mandalorian Bo-Katan. Because in that way, I'm like, that's really kind of set it up to me. I'm like, oh yeah, like the Mandalorian wasn't just about Grogu and his guy. It was kind of like the different things.
That's not a bad idea.
Once I read it that way, I'm like, oh yeah, because this was really about claiming the home planet for them and stealing back their way. My only thing over the whole season is that I felt like it was a little bit rushed at times. Like I wish they would have had longer of what was her name again? Bo-Katan, bringing the factions together. Like I wanted more fighting between the Mandos. Maybe more of a longer battle scenes of a couple episodes to explore the sweet ass stormtrooper / Mandos. Like, we really didn't need
They
Lizzie,
sucked.
Jack Black. Hey, what happened to our freaking robots going crazy? Like, let's just keep it there. Overall, I give it a B, a solid B. I think it was better than the last season of Mando, although Luke Skywalker,
no, nothing beats.
Yeah,
that one episode made the whole season.
Made the whole thing.
When I stand up and I'm like overly excited about, it better be a UFC fight, where there is a tremendous battle going on, and I'm up on my feet, like talking and just going, you know, to town. Or it better be Luke Skywalker coming in and effing up a bunch of freaking.
Oh my gosh,
stupid! I mean, that is my highlight for Star Wars since they've rebooted. Like,
yes.
Now I loved Rogue One. That was a great movie.
Good series.
I've watched all the crap, the Solo and all that.
Yeah, they got my money.
Rogue One, that one movie was amazing. And if you're a newbie to Star Wars and you watch the sequel trilogy, you probably liked it. It wasn't bad. I went to the movie theater and watched all 3 of them on opening day.
Yeah.
You know, by myself, sitting there like 11 in the morning or whatever, eating popcorn.
Like a true fan.
And I would leave the theater. Like, after the first one, I left and I was just going, they remade
really
New Hope.
Yeah. Like,
that's all. My whole thing, my mind was, all they did was change some characters and the gender of characters.
Yeah.
And, you know, and just made the New Hope all over again.
Yeah.
So I was like, I go, you know, it was Star Wars, and you know, it had the feel of Star Wars because that's the music and, you know, but I wasn't excited. I wasn't leaving there going, I want to come back and see it again. Not one of those sequel trilogies did I ever go back to the theater and see again.
Where do you think they go with Mando now for the next season?
So
now that he is like on his house, resting, get his feet up, now he's just going to go.
The whole reason they had to do that, and I liked it. I actually liked the little
kind of
Warner
reset.
Brothers, you know.
Where's he going to go? Where do you think it's going to go next? Is he just going to be a bounty hunter for the Republic? Do you think they're going to set up another TV show?
That's what they've set it up for. Is he's going to go out and work as a bounty hunter, and Gina Carano's character is going to come back on.
Okay,
and she's a ranger of the Republic or whatever, and they were bringing her back on this season if they could have extended out to 12 episodes and had more time to do it. But it was interesting. They were having some really cool stuff where they had planned on in the season finale. I just read, I can't say this is true. This is stuff that you get from Star Wars nerds on YouTube, and you're reading different write-ups and stuff. But Dave and John wanted, and mostly Dave is doing this, you know, like a lot of this. John helps him out. He's kind of like, I have a feeling that he's going to be in charge of Star Wars. Jon Favreau he won't be as much filming and directing as much as he's going to be leading the whole overall vision, along with George.
I'm okay
George
with
is
that.
getting involved in stuff too, and Dave Filoni is more your boots on the ground, fingers involved and everything, because he is a star. He's like us real fans they read all the books, they've watched everything. You know, you're sitting there going, why can't Dave Filoni do everything? But they have to hand off stuff. They also handed off a lot of responsibility in this season, trying to develop other directors and other creatives to come up with their own ideas. And they both admitted they probably shouldn't have done that because it kind of skewed the season in different ways. Like, we know, you know, Lizzo and Jack Black. I love Christopher Lloyd being in something, but that was not the best episode. And I'm all for like sometimes doing quirky little episodes.
Yeah, but not when you only have 8 total
when you
episodes.
Have 22 episodes in a season, like the old school kind of way of doing it, you can do that. When you have 8 episodes, you better stick on track.
Make them all matter.
And it better really matter to the story.
That's right.
Meaning, I don't care about a whole character development between Bo-Katan. I mean, Mandalorians are Mandalorians. Now, are each one of them different? Yes, but I don't need, like, they can fight together. You know, they're going to work together. They're trained. They train each other. They're badass warriors. There's not as many of them anymore, but we all know they're badass warriors. So why do they have to go on this little thing where you have to bring Lizzo and Jack Black? They have screen time. I didn't I thought the episode was all right. When I got done watching it, I was like, all right, you know, I wish something bigger would have happened. I was like with you. I thought that they were going to be out gathering factions.
Yeah.
They'd go to 2 or 3 spots, gathering different Mandalorians, some that we hadn't seen before.
Yes. See, now you're preaching.
So I'm with that. I'm not against that. I'm just saying that I'm not anti doing little offshoot episodes. If you have 12 episodes, they throw 1 or 2 in.
Yeah.
To have like half the episode is some little offshoot with some characters you're going to develop in the future or something. I don't think we're going to see Jack Black and Lizzo in the future.
Well, let's hope not.
I don't think we are. If we are, it's not going to be a talking role or a major talking role where they're giving out lines and talking about.
Then I would do my Kathleen Kennedy rant.
Yeah, it sounds like they brought, but the main thing, the reason why that happened is they brought in creatives that wanted to do their own thing, and I think they did a little Hollywood bullshit sometimes, and it wasn't really true to the story. But with that being said, they really wanted to do 12 episodes.
Yeah,
and they were actually going to have Gina Carano's character and Ahsoka make appearances in it. They were going to fight with Bo-Katan or something.
Is that a Kathleen issue, or was that of like,
that was just
crap? We don't have enough time to do all these special effects
now.
Get them all.
So in this season, when they started primary, she was still had some producer role and stuff in developing the story of this season. She still had like oversight on it.
Yeah,
they were basically running it. But she still had like where she annexed things. She said no to certain things. She said, I don't think you should do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And so I think there was and this is from,
the nerd sites.
I don't sit down and have conversations with Dave Filoni. I'm just saying this is stuff they've talked about on different.
But Dave, if you'd like to be on our show,
like Mike Zero I get a lot from him. And then what's the other one? I can't remember the other one now. But I watch like 3 or 4 different people that I feel like they have a pulse on what's going on.
Yeah.
And then I watch some that break down episodes and for Easter eggs that maybe I didn't pick up on or whatever. So I watch the nerds that are like they spend all their life. I don't have time to spend my whole life making episodes breaking down
freaking Star Wars nerds. Who talks about Star Wars on a podcast?
I don't know.
Freaking nerds.
This is the one thing I've had to come to grips with is after I start talking to you and I thought you were a fellow nerd.
Yeah.
But
see, I'm more of a comic nerd. You're more of a Star Wars nerd.
I'm more of the books and those type of things because Star Wars I went the most deep on anything.
Never in my life though that I would expect to be more out nerded by than you. Like you hide your nerddom so well.
Yeah.
You would never guess.
I like always give my son a hard time about being a nerd because he really is a nerd. He's very smart, but like really into anime and those type of things. And he'll like break down details.
Anime nerds.
I gotta, this person was doing, and they were, and I'm just like, all right, dude. But
let's talk Star Wars, dude. Come on, son.
I'm trying to get that kid. He watches it a little bit, but he just isn't really into it as much as other things.
Parenting fail.
It is. I did my best. He was forced to watch many things, and I encouraged him, and he likes them all right. He just doesn't get into them. Like he wasn't a child of the late 70s, early 80s. He didn't go through that. Puts on his VR headset and can play Star Wars games and swing lightsabers and stuff. We didn't have that stuff. We had imagination. And comic books and movies and then stuff. We had action figures that we actually played with and developed our own scenarios.
Action figures. Let's just be clear.
So,
and wait till we get to the VR porn section of our podcast later. I got a lot of thoughts.
That's one thing I have not done.
Okay.
Sure. Actually, the VR headset is my VR headset.
Yeah.
I used it when I first got it and it made me nauseous playing certain games Star Wars Galaxy.
Yes.
Made me nauseous. And then some first person shooters. All I could do was box and play table tennis on it. That didn't get me nauseous.
That's a whole nother subject. Stay on task.
Yeah. So I really liked the Mando final episode.
Yep.
I thought it was great. I thought the series was good. I think they could have definitely did 10 times more with it. But I think from now on, the handcuffs of Jon Favreau, George Lucas, who is heavily involved in a lot of projects, too, and Dave Filoni, and the people that they're trying to bring along to develop into. I'm guessing if it's Dave Filoni, you better know your Star Wars shit, or he ain't going to hire you for stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't know the legends, if you haven't read books, he's like, get the F out of here.
I'm so excited for Ahsoka.
He'll be like, go back and listen to about 100, 150 hours of the books.
Yeah.
And then come talk to me. Probably more than that. Just this series.
Probably.
You know what? Just this series, I think I'm on my 5th or 6th book. I'm not sure. I have one more book to go. I know that.
Nerd. Okay, sorry.
We're talking one book's 11 hours, one book's 13 hours, one book's 14 hours. Now, with that being said, I'm listening to them, and you know when I listen to them the most?
Working out?
When I'm working out. I mean, and when I'm doing work outside of the house and stuff like that, that's when I listen to them the most. Every once in a while, I fire them up on Alexa and listen to them as I'm relaxing or laying down. But for the most part, I'm doing something when I'm listening to them.
Now, what do I have to do to get you to watch season 3 of Picard? Shifting topics. Because, I mean, come on, I can barely contain.
There's been so many good things lately, and so I have it on my. It's almost to the top of my
You got to put it to the top.
Dude, Beavis and Butthead came out with a new season, so I went to watch Picard.
Come on,
I go on the Paramount app, and they're like new episodes of Beavis, and I'm like, there's a whole hour of new Beavis and Butthead.
Enterprise D is back.
I know. My son has actually watched it and told me about it because he does Star Trek. It's kind of like almost like a role-playing game with a bunch of other humans, and they all get online and they all have different characters.
Yeah.
I forget what he calls it. But it's like role playing.
Yeah.
You know, and so he has his character and they all can do different stuff. But the next season, so this week they're wrapping up one season. And so now then they're gonna go and it's gonna be a new season that's based off Picard.
So
he's telling me about it and I'm like going, holy crap. I go, you're watching? He goes, I've watched some of it. Yeah, he goes, I'm gonna watch it to get ready for my new season of game playing thing he does with people.
If your son's looking for a 50-year-old pale Irish guy, I'm in. He
gets excited about it. Let me tell you.
I would too.
You have to develop your character. You have to figure out where you're from, what your family structure was, different personality traits. You're given this outline, and then you got to develop that character.
Oh, I could do that.
I don't want to do it, but he likes it, and he does it with a bunch of friends online. That he has I go in there, he has his headset on, and you see all the Star Trek stuff on there.
Be Bradford Tiberius Kirk would be my character name.
Man, you got to go with your same last name. You can't be a Kirk.
Why not?
Because you got to have huevos if you're a Kirk.
Right.
You gotta be ready to throw the F down. You got to do a double axe handle shot to the back.
That's true.
You got to be ready to do it.
Can we incorporate that into group class?
I don't see you going after an alien and going, Hood! I see you going, group. Oh shit, run! Run!
That's my
beat me up,
style.
Scotty!
That is the 8th Jedi fighting technique.
Run like hell.
That is called the Brad Sprint.
So, anyway, I'm really excited. I'm so excited about Ahsoka.
Yeah,
I can't even, I'm just
You're so excited about Ahsoka, you completely flew by my Picard.
Nobody cares.
See, people?
I'll watch it before the next episode.
My mom cares.
Here's the thing. There's been some really good shows, so I'll sit down and I go, I'm going to watch an episode of it, and then I end up binging the whole thing.
That's why I want you to do it, Picard.
The Diplomat on Netflix.
Come on.
I spent the whole last Saturday watching The Diplomat. I mean,
I'm not wearing a Diplomat t-shirt, bro.
I know.
Stay on point. All right. Did you see the Flash trailer?
The original Flash trailer. I haven't seen it. There's a new one.
They released a second one.
Did Ezra Miller beat any women or assault any waiters or anything?
The movie is so good, reportedly.
That's what I've heard.
That they could not fire Ezra Miller. You have a good movie when you're just dying to get rid of this crazy ass actress. I think they're binary, whatever. And he's out stealing people's liquor in different houses. All of that. And they're like, you know what? We're good. We'll keep him. We'll just keep this movie's so good. We just can't get rid of him.
Hey, James Gunn even goes, I don't know if we're gonna do a second movie.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill is like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. He's
the best Superman ever. Get the fuck. This movie must be like gold. James Gunn must have watched it and went, fuck.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I can't recast him. He's too good.
Cavill's got to be like, look, I haven't broken anybody's houses. I haven't had arrest warrants. I haven't had to go in rehab.
I don't act like a cult leader of a group of
I'm not grooming boys. People. And I still get booted. This guy does all of that, and they gave him all kinds of money, and they're pushing out their movie. So I'm excited. The trailer looks great. Michael Keaton as Batman. I'm in.
I tell you, I'm excited about it. I will go see it opening day.
Ben Affleck said this was the best Batman he's ever done. And if he did this movie first, he would have done more Batman films because this is the first time he felt he nailed the Batman role. He figured it out. And of
I
course,
like Ben
James
Affleck
Gunn
as
is like,
the older
too
Batman
bad.
too.
Yeah.
But he's just like, we're not going to do Aquaman. You're not going to be Aquaman anymore. We're going to make you Lobo. That's what the rumor is.
So who wants to see Aquaman 2 knowing that is no...
Have you seen the couple of guys that have been rumored to be up for the role of Superman?
Young.
They can't even hold Henry Cavill's left nut.
No.
I mean, come on.
They're going to be really
It's
young.
a joke.
And he's held the left nut of Henry Cavill, so he knows.
It was heavy. It was heavy as the weight.
Did you use both hands?
Well, you would have had to use both hands.
Yeah.
I got
Throw your back into it, but that's a whole nother podcast.
Henry Cavill, I still don't understand it.
He's the
It
best.
doesn't make any sense to me. Like if you come in and do your artistic, hey, you didn't like Man of Steel or you don't like Zack Snyder. Come in and just say it. This I think he did a horrible shit job. I don't like how they did it. But take like Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
I think she's a good Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But I think there's actors out there you go, I think they may be a better Wonder Woman. I've seen some of the people they've been like hawking up as possible. Because right now there's no plans to replace her, except James Gunn's just itching to go, nope, she's out too.
They have to. Cause,
I think she's going to be in some stuff coming up that they really can't recast.
You either gotta have the Snyderverse and just be like, all right, there's the Snyderverse movies, that we'll just put on HBO Max, and then we're gonna have the Gunn universe, and we're gonna have that there, and they're separate.
Something just popped in my head. So I'm thinking about multiverses and like DC.
Oh, here we go. Let's hear it.
In Marvel. Did you hear who's been cast to play Reed Richards?
No. Breaking news.
Well, this has pretty much been confirmed, but it hasn't been officially, I think, confirmed.
All right, hit me.
But there's a bunch of people inside of Marvel that have said the new Reed Richards is Kylo Ren.
No.
Yep.
I like it.
I can't think of his real name right now, but it's Kylo Ren.
I know.
I'm drawing a complete blank. Adam Driver, yes.
See,
I was sitting there and go, I was going to tell you, then I'm like, I can't remember his name. I'm like, well, he's fucking Kylo Ren, and everybody who knows who the fuck that is.
If there's no better example of having a podcast of two guys over 50, it's us like, what's her name? Bo-Katan. Yeah. And what's his name? Yeah. Us reminding each other of.
It's two brains in one. And
yes.
Both of them together are back to our 30-year-old brains.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's great.
Yes. No, that's
I'm in.
And there's a bunch of other people who are supposed to be up for the Invisible Girl and stuff.
Yeah.
But there hasn't been any like confirmation. Like people haven't went, oh yeah, this is for sure going to happen. They were saying this week that Adam Driver is for sure going to be Reed Richards.
That's awesome. I hope that's true.
I think it's actually a great hire. I like John Krasinski, like in that movie, but I think Adam Driver is great. Now the guy, the number one contender people think for Superman, they showed a picture of him and I went, what in the blue hell are you talking about?
Shouldn't that be some sparkly vampire on the CW? That's what I thought.
It was horrible.
That's just
I don't even remember. I don't even know who he is. I saw him. I'm like, who the hell is this? And that isn't Superman.
No.
Can you imagine like the comparisons online? They're going to show a picture of Henry Cavill and this new guy.
Yeah.
It's like they were showing a picture of like the new Supergirl who's going to be in the Ezra Miller Flash movie. They show a picture of her and they blow her up in huge size and put her next to Henry Cavill because Henry Cavill's just standing there in this regular picture.
Yeah.
They have to blow her up huge to make her look even half the comparison.
He was great.
To Kal-El. I just don't get it. That's one of the few things I don't understand. I liked a lot of what James Gunn has done in the past. I think it sounds like Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be badass.
Yep.
I'm excited about it. I liked Peacemaker. I liked the Suicide Squad that he did. I like a lot of what he's done, but I think he's come in and really kicked the hornet's nest with all of us people that really like the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
And we're like, we want to see it. There was so much that could have been done with it and such great actors and characters. And I'm not happy with it. So then it makes you want to push back and reject everything they're doing.
I know, which is why I thought that, like, if HBO Max would have said, you know what, Dan Snyder, we'll give you like $50 million, whatever, make a TV series or something every couple years, put out 10 episodes of a Snyderverse of like what your plan was, or make movies, and we're just going to
like limited series, like 3 episodes of something,
or like whatever movie. So just to keep some of that going, all the actors said in interviews that they would have followed Snyder to the end of the
Yep.
end of the earth, and so I would have been like, yes.
So,
In conclusion, Flash trailer good.
Henry Cavill got screwed. We all got screwed.
Has a weighty testicle. We've learned.
Very heavy testicles. Brad Pitt, very high on the Jennifer Connelly list.
Yes.
Brad Erie will never be Brad Pitt.
Unfortunately. To my wife,
Mandalorian gets
good.
3.75 stars out of 5.
Yeah, I would agree. Take out that one episode.
Take out the Lizzo episode. We're neither one big fans of that one. Wish that John and Dave wouldn't have had Kathleen Kennedy's finger still in the production.
I can't wait.
Focus.
One episode, I'm just going to hand you the microphone and say, Kathleen Kennedy, go. And just,
you know what? I can't wait.
Just let you go for an hour.
Indiana Jones to flop. A week after it flops, they're going to go, Kathleen, you're the F out of here. Go home. Well, you can go work on your own production studio,
and that
meddler of Star Wars.
I would like to congratulate Indiana Jones for making $7 billion because Casey just cursed the franchise and all of us. Thank you.
Well, hey, the worst thing is she'll be allowed to stay on next year, and they'll do one more an Acolyte season 2 with her. She has one more production thing on her contract that she gets to put her fingers into or something. But I think she's now going to be exiled from doing it and messing with Dave and John at all.
Yeah.
So pretty much she didn't have any say at all in Ahsoka. So
you heard it here.
That's what I've heard from the nerds.
Fingers crossed. All my hopes and dreams are
the
with
people
Ahsoka.
that have connections inside Disney, inside Lucasfilms, inside Disney. So watch those nerds. Mike Zero, he's good.
We like the nerds. We like some nerds.
I don't like him that much as far as he's a real nerd, but
nerds.
He seems to have quality information from the inside, and that's what you really got to judge him. I'm sure he's a nice guy. He's just a little robotic.
We won't crap on him yet.
No, we'll wait until we find out more about him. I'll start.
Then we'll crap on him.
I'll Google him today, and we'll find out what he does.
Yes.
Behind the scenes. So that's pretty much it today. Yeah, we'll wrap it up, and we'll see you next week.
What's the name of the podcast, and where can they go to find you?
The Do or Do Not podcast. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Apple. Have you guys on Spotify yet?
Oh yeah.
So apparently we're on Spotify. I haven't looked that up.
We're on where all your podcasts are available. You can find us. You can go to his website, which he'll say right now,
RosevilleSC.com.
And we'll have probably a lower graphic that you can see.
Because Brad's the editor, so he better have a lower graphic on there.
We had a lot of lower graphics today. You're throwing out numbers.
On Vimeo.
Oh, my God.
Roseville Strength and Conditioning.
We don't need to do this
introductory program.
I'm not putting all of these things on it again. You can scroll back.
It'll be right here, right at the end of the episode on the screen.
It will not. It will not. Just saying.
All right. Have a good week.
Yes, let's see if this all works. And we're out.